Well, hi guys, and welcome back to Ocean's Garden. I didn't present myself in the last few videos, so my name is Ocean. Yeah, hi to you. Um, Last week we had a fairly hot period, almost like a heat wave. I gotta say a heat wave since we're still in spring over here, so it's not quite normal that we have like 33 degrees with the humidex. Yep, that happened. It was really hot for absolutely no reason. My spinach did not like that kind of weather. I had to sprinkle them with water and remove the flowers because they were going to bolt on me. Since the we had a hot period like this, we had nights that were over 10 degrees, and I took the opportunity to just start and acclimate my tomatoes and my basil. Those plants do not can tolerate nights under 10 degrees. It's just it's gonna stunt their growth, and since they're not even in the ground yet, I do not want to stunt their growth or give them any reason to be stressed out. So this week I kind of see nights that are gonna be a little under 10 degrees, so I am gonna provide them a frost cloth over them so they'll be protected a little bit from the cold, but it's not gonna do miracles. It's probably gonna keep them like 1 to 2 degree warmer than just having them in the outside, just in general. Um, what I did is I'm using the cover of my pergola. Since it has a PVC corrugated roof, it kind of acts as a shade cloth a bit, so the sunlight that go on the plants is a little less harsh on the plants. And I did take them out on a sunny day, but the best thing you can do for your plants is take them out when you're gonna have like, if it's gonna be a rainy week, it's perfect because the sun is less harsh in general, so your plants can get acclimated better. So with the frost cloth, it's another layer of UV protection for the plants. So that's a thing to consider. But that's not what I want to talk today. I have to get some plants in the ground, and over the winter I had plants and I had so many plants that I wanted to get in the ground. So last minute in November I just decided to add some structure in the front of the house to have some beds, and it looks a little prettier because I don't want to annoy my neighbors with like having gardens in the front of the house. So what I did is, after I put the structure, I went around my neighborhoods to go and steal some leaf bags because those are a gold mine for a garden. Like, if you didn't know, it's the best thing you can have around. So with that, I just put a good layer of leaf, or as many as I had, and for some beds it wasn't enough. I'm gonna explain a little later. So I put the leaf down, and then to be sure that the leaf just doesn't blow away before the snow arrives, I put some bags over them with some weights, and I left it like that for the whole winter. Come spring, last week, I just went ahead and lift the beds, remove the leaves, and assess the ground. Uh, what I realized is at some place I did not put a thick enough layer of leaves, so the grass did not get killed, didn't totally get killed over winter, or I didn't wait long enough for it to be really brown and the earthworm eating the decayed plants. Some dandelions just literally poke through the paper bags. But other than the dandelions, I didn't see much weeds, so that's a good thing. Like it prevented the growth of any other weeds. To start and remove the grass, what I did is I lift up the beds and move all the leaves aside. Once the leaves were aside and everything, I just used my round shovel and mark the contour of my beds and start uh, digging with my hands because I did not have my pitchfork in with me, which was a mistake. It was kind of it takes longer when you do it by hand. If you use a pitchfork, you can just put it through the ground, lift the grass, shake it off, and I put it aside. 6 by 3 bed took me like 15 minutes to do for like digging the contour and then just pitchforking it. And one of some of the beds had like the roots of the tree that is up front entangled in the roots of the grass. So that took a little longer, but other than that, it doesn't take too much time. But if you have a plot that is over 100 square foot, like my mom's garden is humongous, um, you can just rent a tiller to go ahead and till the grass off. So it'd be easier to just take the grass and put it aside. As I'm opening these new plots, I am on a budget. I cannot just go ahead and have garden soil delivered to me and put over the beds. So if you have the budget, I do think it's a good idea to get some soil delivered to you so you can just till it in and you don't have like a clay layer where the roots can just stagnate in the water that pulls over there. So personally, I'm taking a rest. I prefer to try and have something growing there that I want over some just random weeds growing there. I know weeds can have some benefits, but I prefer having the crops, some actual crops that I want. So since I have a clayey and very compact soil in general because of the construction of the, well, it was a forest over here before it got deforested, and with the construction of the house, uh, they just remove topsoil. So I decided to follow my fellow YouTuber Gardening in Canada. Ashley is a fabulous soil scientist who um, has a lot of knowledge and decided to just share them on YouTube. You should really go ahead and see her videos. She is amazing and a really goofy girl. It's really nice. Her videos are really superb. Thank you, Ashley, for all your knowledge. So with her advice, I am gonna add some compost and peat moss in my ground. So I chose a wood-based compost with our advice and the little research I did on this. It suggested that clay soil is already holding a lot of nutrients. It can lack the organic organic carbon in the soil for just the structure of to have some structure in the soil. So there's a lot of nutrients, but they're not necessarily available to the plants since the plants cannot uh, go through the clay with their roots since it's too compacted. So the compost and the peat moss I'm gonna use are gonna go ahead and add a high source of organic carbon. It's gonna help the structure and the texture of the soil. There's a lot of crops like carrots that you need a really almost sand textures for them to be able to just go ahead and send their taproot as deep as possible. So what I did is I added my compost. I'm going in the video. I don't have me adding the peat moss, but I'm I'm doing it later in that week. I just forgot to film it. Um, and what I'm doing is I'm gonna use my pitchfork that that day I had with me because I'm adding the compost. Since I'm adding the compost later, I'm gonna use my pitchfork and just go through the ground and try to break the clay as much as possible. I do not have a tiller, so that would have been better for you if you have like a big plot, like I was saying. You could use a tiller for mixing your compost and peat moss in the ground. It's gonna be more efficient. Like Ashley talked about in our video, I think it was in April. If you ever till the ground, do not walk on it because you are just gonna compact it again. So keep that in mind, please, or you're just gonna ruin your work. If you really have to walk over that surface, just take a plank and so you can redistribute your weight on the ground. So once I tilled in my I added my compost and my peat moss. I'm gonna use those plots for corn and squash this year. Um, my biggest goal for the front yard is to not have to mow the ground, the grass there, or well, I should say the weeds, to be really honest. So what I'm planning to do is have the squash just spill out of the bed, allow them to just overflow onto the lawn. And just before they start spilling out, I am going to contact a arborist and ask them if they could deliver free wood chip to me, because sometimes rather for them to just go ahead and dump them at the waste center, I am gonna request them to come around here and just dump it on my lawn so I can use it. My plan is to mow the grass and the weed as low as possible, add the wood chip, and then just let the plants overflow the beds, over the beds, and take my garden, my front lawn, because let's be honest, squash takes a lot of place, like a lots and lots. And with the the wood chip, I'm gonna try and have a 1 to 2 inch layer so the weeds won't be able to grow back through it. And well, since I'm gonna have the squash spillover, I'm gonna use the three sister method without the beans because I won't have enough space for that. There's gonna be the corn in the middle and the squash just going all over the place, so they are going to be my weed barrier because there's a lot of weed growing in front. The bees are adding a feast. Let's be honest with that. But for the time being, since there's so much weed and they are all going to seed they're gonna go to seed in a few weeks, I am gonna reuse the leaf bag that I had put over the winter and put them over the soil, so they're gonna be yeah, they'll has their job's gonna reduce the amount of seed that's gonna touch the ground, or any that's gonna try and poke through. For planting, well, as I'm showing, I'm just putting an X in the bags, folding with uh, folding the paper with on itself, and I'm just gonna dig a little hole. Since I don't know how much nutrients is gonna be available, and corn is a really heavy feeder, I'm putting a pinch of all-purpose fertilizer in the hole and just mixing it with the soil there is in there. And once I mix some of the fertilizer, I'm just putting the seed 3 times the side of the seed just down in the soil, and I am crumbling some soil over the top of the seed so it will be uh, fluffier, so the seed won't have too much struggle to just go through the soil. And that's that covers what I did this week. I did not have that much time because I had a lot of activities with friends, so that's what I was able to do in the really hot and unbearable weather we had over the week. So I hope you enjoyed this and have a great weekend. I'll see you in the next one. If you're still listening, I'm gonna put the garden tour I did in April so you can see the evolution of my garden. And if you're ever interested, there is also my video from last week where I explain how to protect your garden. Have a great one.